My name's Glenn Brace. I'm the head of studio for Elevation. We're here at nDreams headquarters. We've been focusing on core AAA VR titles built for VR from the ground up. The whole studio is built from a people, talent, technology point of view to really hit hard in those areas. We've seen Tomb Raider, we play Uncharted, but it's a translation of those experiences into a first-person VR immersive world. You start agile, after progression, you tool up, and at the end you become superhero-like in your capabilities. We're really proud of what we've done with Reach. We can't wait to get it into users' hands, get people experience immersing our title. To talk a little bit more about the game in more depth, I'm going to hand you over to Matt Duff, our design director.
Reach has three core pillars. They've been the same since the start when we first came up with the initial concept. That is action, adventure, and presence. Everything we do is VR first. What we did with Reach is we redefined how you move in a VR game. A lot of the times we're doing physical interactions. You reach out and pull yourself through spaces. Jumping. Traditionally not something that transfers very well into VR due to comfort factors. However, with Reach, what we've done is, because we do it with a gesture-based system, we're tricking the mind into thinking that you're doing it.
Oh, whoops. Nope, still in shot. No, still in shot. Hey, how's it going? We want to give the same depth, freedom and agency that one would expect in a flat screen game. So think like your Tomb Raiders, your Uncharted's, your Jedi Survivors, where you're jumping across massive gaps, flinging yourself along cliffs. The brain can get away with a lot of artificial movement if it expects it ahead of time. You move your arms, you get the movement you expect. You're naturally reaching for something on the other side anyway, whether you're jumping towards a cliff or a crane or some other big climbable set piece thing that may explode in the next 5 minutes.
The adventure side of the game, that's more about your journey through it. Reach does have a linear campaign in the fact there is a beginning and a middle and end, but how you explore the story, the characters, the gameplay mechanics, it's real high agency on your part.
We're asking a lot of the player in Reach, and it's because we're confident that we've got mechanics that the players don't have to fight. For the vast majority, and especially the hardcore VR player base, they want something that lets them do stuff.
You can make decisions that change the way you play the game versus how somebody else might play the game. If it looks like it can be interacted with, if it looks like it can be climbed, you can do it. This game couldn't have been made anywhere but VR. So our present pillar in Reach, one of the very key aspects of that is our FBA, a full body awareness system that we have. In some VR games out there now you play, you are a pair of floating hands. In Reach, you have a fully realised body that moves through the world with you, behaves in a realistic manner, and really reinforces your presence in that world.
Everybody sees a human body every day, right? But it's different in the VR space. So if you look at, actually, I'll play a character from a third person point of view, it looks really janky. But when you look down at it, it looks really good. With the climbing system, you wanted to be able to account for players who moved quickly or moved slower. If the player moved really fast, the legs wouldn't catch up, so you would have a leg like 2 meters away. And you would just have a really long leg. And I think it responds really well in both the crag climbing and regular climbing situations. I'm really quite proud of how we've managed to get that so that it didn't limit design or traversal in any way. I want it to be seamless. I want them to see the full body and experience the full body as a part of the game and just enjoy it as it stands.
We actually inherited a pretty well-functioning climbing system from Synapse. We spent a lot of time going, right, but how do we make this feel really good? So we wanted to have that weight of the physics-based climbing systems, but in a way that We never bounce the player, and we make it as easy as we can to fling from one handhold to another. With the right choices and with the right design decisions, we can let the players do so much more.
So the combat in Reach has both high action kind of factors and high stealth factors. So if you're more of an action-focused player, the tools that we give you can kind of enable you to play in that way. So take the bow, for instance. The bow has multiple different types of ammo. So one example of that is an explosive arrow that you can use to blow things up. The freeze arrow, where you can actually freeze multiple enemies in their state. Finally, you have a stun arrow, which you can use to incapacitate an enemy, and then you can use your grapple hook and use your enemy's weapon against themselves. If you're more of a stealth-focused person, you can use the bow to manipulate enemies, so you can fire into environments to create sound, and then pull them to different positions and things like that. All of the individual components that we've spoken about with Reach, they're fantastic in their own right. We've been developing them for years. The real key thing in the game is that all of these individual things come together to make the game so much more than the sum of its parts.
It may help pave the way for more games to give the player a similar amount of freedom.
Reach is the ultimate in action, the ultimate in exploration, the ultimate in presence.
I think our solution is pretty damn good.